Oh, hello again. I've been brushing up on my Sega arcade knowledge in this amazing book by Hardcore Gaming 101, and it got me thinking, what are some of my favourite Sega arcade games? Now, with so many Sega arcade games to choose from, I thought I'd just narrow it down to those released for the System 16 hardware. So here's my top 10. At number 10, I've gone with Dynamite Ducks, the cartoon-style side-scrolling beat-em-up released in 1988. Two ducks are on a mission to rescue their kidnapped owner, as they fight their way through 6 stages filled with various animals who are out to stop you. It's not the greatest game in the genre, but it does have its charm, and the crazy weapons, weird enemies and boss characters do create a fairly fun experience. At number 9, I've chosen the classic side-scrolling action game, Altered Beast. Perhaps remembered best as being the original pack-in title for the Sega Mega Drive, Altered Beast landed in arcades in 1988. Zeus's daughter Athena has been kidnapped, so he summons you to rescue her. During your quest, orbs become available that turn you into several different beast forms, granting new powers and techniques before facing each end-of-level boss. It's renowned for becoming a little too dull too quickly, and I always found that by the time I reached stage 3, I'd become a little bored. It'll always be an iconic game in my eyes, but it's far from one of the greats. At number 8, we have some run-and-gun action with Beirut. Now this game bears more than a passing resemblance to Konami's Contra, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. The controls do take a bit of getting used to, as you can switch between several weapons straight away, and there are power-ups available as you progress. It's not the greatest example of a run-and-gun game, and it's one I never hear anyone mention, but if you enjoy this type of game, it's definitely worth checking out. At number 7, I've gone with another scrolling beat-em-up, Tough Turf. Now essentially this game is just Double Dragon, switching out Billy and Jimmy for two guys that have just finished a day at the office. The title definitely suits the game as it is tough, and making use of weapons is an essential part of getting through even the first stage. One thing that definitely stands out is the amazing soundtrack, and without this, it would just be another run-of-the-mill beat-em-up. Fans of the genre will probably enjoy it, but the gameplay is very basic and it does become repetitive quickly. I've gone with E-SWAT at number 6, and for those familiar with the arcade game, they'll know just how different it is when compared to the Mega Drive version. It's essentially a basic run-and-gun game with the odd platform thrown in here and there. You start off as a regular police officer, on a mission to stop crime and take down a list of wanted criminals. As you progress, you upgrade to a mech suit equipped with more powerful weapons. It's another System 16 game with an amazing soundtrack. It has its flaws, but overall E-SWAT is a decent side-scrolling action game. At number 5, I've gone with 1986's Fantasy Zone, a bright and colourful shoot-em-up that allows the player to scroll left and right in order to take out the different targets on each stage. You start with standard fire and bomb attacks, and can obtain power-ups by collecting money and spending it by visiting the shop. Fantasy Zone is an absolute classic, and it's definitely one of Sega's more memorable arcade games from its era. At number 4, I've chosen Alien Syndrome, a top-down run-and-gun game released in 1987. Each stage requires you to locate and rescue a set number of hostages, whilst dodging or destroying the alien enemies. Once enough hostages are saved, you must find the exit and take on the end-of-level boss. Alien Syndrome is a fantastic arcade shoot-'em-up, combining intense action and strategy in an immersive alien-inspired atmosphere. At number 3 we have Cotton Fantastic Night Dreams, a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up released in 1991. You take control of Cotton, a witch on a broomstick whose mission is to collect candy. Standing in her way are all manner of monsters and horror-themed enemies, which Cotton must destroy using her standard weapon, which can be upgraded thanks to an experience system. Cotton is an amazing shoot-'em-up that has some interesting ideas, a superb graphical style, and has tons of character. At number 2 we have an absolute arcade classic, Shinobi. You take control of Joe Musashi, a ninja on a mission to rescue kidnapped students and take down the Zed terrorist organization. The game is a side-scrolling action platformer, in which the player must take down enemies using upgradable shurikens or close-range punches and kicks. At the end of each area you face a boss character. These can be pretty tough at times, but luckily you also have limited use of magic, which can help drain their energy. Shinobi also has an amazing bonus game, which tasks the player with throwing shurikens at enemies from a first-person perspective. It's one of the most iconic arcade games ever, and is still one I go back to, and I'm sure many of you do as well. At number 1, I've gone for one of the most fondly remembered scrolling beat-em-ups ever made, Golden Axe. You make your selection from 3 different characters, each with their own strengths and weaknesses and individual magic attacks. Each stage provides the perfect battleground, as you take on memorable enemies and boss characters before facing the evil Death Adder. I have some amazing memories of playing Golden Axe, and it was one of my go-to games whenever I saw it in an arcade. It's a game I regularly go back to play through, and it's still as much fun today as it was back in 1989. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below and subscribe to the channel for future content.